Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. And unfortunately, yes, it's true, by the title and thumbnail of this video, I am in the bus from HE double hockey sticks yet again. And this is because I came into work this morning to find that my bus was nowhere to be seen on the lot. And so I called dispatch and I assumed it was either gone with somebody else or in the shop. And I was told it was in the shop, obviously, because 2 days ago, you remember me making a video, it wouldn't start. The batteries were completely dead, so it's in the shop awaiting repairs and focus camera. So it'll likely be fixed over holiday break. This is probably the last time I'll have work this year until January of 2025, of course, but yep, in the bus from hell yet again. Thought it was only for Thursday. Well, I lied. I didn't mean to lie, but you know, my bus is still out of service, so what can I say? And I'm going to explain why I've called this the bus from hell. You might remember a video I made in the summer of this year where the AC was fucked up. Well, I guess what happened was it was still on heat as opposed to being switched back to air for the summer, and so they sent me out in a bus that didn't have working AC. It was switched on heat, and so that's why it was blowing hot, and it got worse continually with speed. So the faster I went, the higher the temp reading would be, and I saw temps as high as, I kid you not, 91 degrees. The other reason is, besides the ABS lights, this parking brake valve has a bad spot in it, as you can hear. See, sometimes it won't let me release it. I'm going to see if it'll do it. There's the bad spot. So if I hold it long enough, brake's now disengaged. But if I just gingerly lift up, that was barely any effort at all, the parking brake's set again. Because like I was saying, the valve has a bad spot in it. Another reason is the HVAC unit. Sometimes the driver AC would just quit on me in the summer. I'm not sure about the heat. It seems to be blowing fine just now. Our technician said it was an air filter, cabin air filter. So I would imagine that is fixed by now. Oh yeah, the parking brake, it doesn't hold all that well. That's another reason, and obviously the first video I made with this bus, I showed how bad the parking brake was. There's a trim piece in the rear luggage area that has come loose. That still hasn't been fixed. There's just a lot wrong with this bus, hence why I call it the bus from hell. These this ABS light and the traction control light below, they've been on for months, as long as I've been working here. So we'll go ahead and mosey on over to the back. A lot of the reading lights on this side do not work. I have the master switch off. I'm going to go turn it on so I can show you guys. We'll see how many of them don't work. There we go. Those work. Those work. Those two work. And then starting here, these reading lights all do not work. Those were already on. One of them's on here. I'm just trying to remember everything that's wrong with this bus, because there is a lot. These ones work, so I think all the reading lights on this side are fine, but I'm just gonna check them to make sure, because I don't always check these things, because usually most of the time they work, but in this bus that is not the case at all. Those ones work. These ones work. Got 2 more rows. Yep, so all the ones on the left side work. It's just the right side beyond that first TV screen that they don't. I'm not really sure what else to list, but I do know that there is a lot, and when there's a lot, it tends to not get fixed, because, I mean, just looking at it from a financial standpoint, it might not be worth it, especially if the bus has nearly 150,000 miles and is on the verge of being phased out in favor of a new bus. So in that case, why not just get a new bus instead of constantly fixing crap on this bus? So yeah, I mean, I get why it hasn't been fixed, but the fact that it has had some of these issues, some of which are major, for the past several months is kind of crazy. I mean, the ABS, well, our test lane that we take these buses to said the next time this bus shows up, the ABS light better be off or it's going to fail. The parking brake, ditto, because when you pull that emergency brake during your pre-trip inspection, when you are doing 5 miles an hour, you should have a violent stop. Well, this stop was not violent at all, and I'll give myself a little room to demonstrate that. Let me just get in position here. Alright, so I'm in position, and before I check the parking brake while moving, I'm going to check it while stationary. So I'm in drive, parking brake's on, at 1500 RPMs. Alright, it seems to be holding fine at idle now. So that part's fixed. But how about while moving? Let's see. So we're in gear, get up to 5 miles per hour. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So maybe the parking brake got fixed, but it's not as good as 2 of our 2020s, which have recently had brake work, new brake pads put on. Those things stop violently. So proper emergency stops now. So I'm just gonna park this bus again. Alright, so I've parked the bus again. Sorry, it's kind of hard to keep this sun glare away from the camera, but you might also notice that the secondary air pressure gauge is not building as much air as the primary air tank. So that's interesting. And also, every time I start the bus, and this has everything to do with the ABS light being on, there's a code for the ABS. I don't know if you can see it. There, now you can. That's every time I cycle the bus off and back on. Well, I'm not sure what else there is to say. Obviously, I've got a couple DEF jugs, which sometimes I will fill them and then put DEF in the other buses if there's stuff on the board where buses need DEF, because sometimes drivers will note that their buses need DEF, and if I can get to it before the technicians, then I will help them out, so that way we don't use as much DEF from our shop. There's also EDT plus winter defense from Hot Shot Secret. I use that to treat my diesel fuel in the winter. It helps prevent it from gelling, and it helps stabilize it and clean it up, because diesel fuel does not have the proper lubricity, and it's not as clean as, say, in Europe, for instance. Now, there are some stations that sell premium diesel, but even then, so I would rather pump regular diesel and then put the either diesel extreme or everyday diesel treatment in, depending on intervals, because diesel extreme, you're supposed to put that in every 6,000 miles. EDT, you're supposed to put in at every fill up if you're not using diesel extreme. So if you're using diesel extreme, you don't have to bother with this at the pump, but only for that fill up. But every fill up after that, you got to use EDT until 6,000 miles, then you use diesel extreme, and then the cycle repeats. But obviously in the winter, you want to make sure that you are specifically running this stuff, so that way your fuel does not gel up. And if it does, they do sell a product for emergencies to liquefy gelled diesel fuel immediately. Basically what you're supposed to do is just dump it in the tank, maybe in your fuel filter as well, and then try to start it. But it's only for emergencies. It's not for any other use. All right, I think that's gonna conclude. Oh wait, I just remembered something else. Before I end this video, I just remembered that my reverse camera does not work. See, I just put the bus in reverse, and there is no signal coming from the reverse camera. That's been like that for months too, and I've reported it several times. I'm hoping at least that gets fixed, because I really think the backup camera does help when it comes to parking the bus. Just adds to the level of safety and driver convenience and confidence as well. It's a good confidence booster. All right, that's it. I hope you enjoyed.